coming in. Okay, we're recording. This is, let's see, what is today? It's the 10th of April. Rabbi Furst, Pirkei Avot. Well, I guess we're doing Haggada, you said?
Yeah, Haggada Shel Pesach, right?
Shel Pesach.
Mm.
Morning, Roy.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rabbi Furst. Good morning.
Good morning, Roy. Good to see you. Have a good week. Everyone should have a good week.
So
man.
just one more business item. What's the schedule for this week? Are we learning every day?
Except Erev Shabbos, Erev Pesach will probably be an extra busy day, but I imagine we can learn every day if that's okay with everyone. Should be okay with me.
I'm sorry I won't be able to. We've got to prepare for visitors and that staying over. I couldn't get in yesterday. I don't know why.
Yesterday, you mean Erev Shabbos?
No, sorry, Friday. I couldn't get in.
I'm not sure why. I remember I saw you check in. I think I sent you an email. I'm not sure. That's a good point. I don't know why. Okay. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm in today. I won't be on for the next from now on till after. When are we starting after Pesach? During Chol Hamoed or?
It depends. I'm not sure if people. I might be a little bit busy. I think I'll be busy. Chol Hamoed. Maybe yes, maybe not. It depends if there's interest or not.
All right. Well, if you wouldn't mind emailing us all.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
In learning.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening either. Okay.
All right, so I'll be hosting the rest of the week. I also may have conflicts, but I'm going to try and at least attend the first 2 shiurim each day.
Okay, great.
All right, so let's continue on with the Haggada. Let's see, Mayor, do you remember marking down more or less where we left off?
Okay, hold on 1 second. My fingers don't work like they used to. I think we got up to the Hisha Amda.
That sounds right. That sounds correct. Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
What section is that in?
That's after the Avani Ma'inu Leparo.
It's in Magid?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. It's after the sons.
So it's after go and learn about Lavan?
I'll tell you. That's after. No, I think it's before. I think
before Lavan.
It's before then. It was before Lavan, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not,
just before that.
Yeah.
I see it. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Who would like to read?
I'll give it a try if you guys are not used to me after.
Well, reacclimate ourselves, Lou.
Okay.
Now remember, when we say this, as you see in your instructions, you should cover the matzahs and you take the kais and lift up the kais and hold the kais and then you say this. And that's a general rule. General rule is whenever you're speaking during the Haggada, the matzah should be uncovered. And whenever you're going to pick up the kais, you should cover the matzahs. So here's the time to pick up the kais, and therefore you cover the matzah.
And that's the same reason as you cover the matzah, the bread, because you don't want the wine and the bread sharing the limelight?
That, I'm not sure. That applies when we say Kiddush, there's normally the bracha on motzi goes before bracha on geffen. I'm not really sure why it's necessary to cover the matzahs when you pick up the kais. I have to look into that a bit. I'll try and find out about that.
Okay. V'hi she'amda la'avosenu v'lanu shelo echad bilvad amad aleinu lechalosenu. So it is this that stood for our fathers and for us.
Actually, it's he, meaning this is a reference to Kadosh Baruch Hu, meaning here Kadosh Baruch Hu has stood by us for our fathers and for us.
Oh, he is. Vayhi is the word he, He?
Well, I mean, it's a reference to Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Uh-huh. Okay. So we would say what it is Kadosh Baruch Hu that stood for our fathers and our forefathers and for us.
Yes.
Uh,
Right. This is a praise to Kadosh Baruch Hu keeping his promise.
uh-huh. I see. That not one alone stood upon us to annihilate us. That not only one nation, I guess, tried to annihilate us. Ella shebechol dor v'dor omdim aleinu lechalosenu. But rather, in every generation, they stand against us to annihilate us. V'hakadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu mi'adam, and Hashem rescues us from their hand. Weiter?
Right. So this is a statement at the very beginning of the Haggada that we're trying to emphasize our debt of gratitude towards the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That part of the avoda, part of what we're trying to communicate to ourselves and to our family members, guests, on the night of Pesach, is we have obligations, right? Kadosh Baruch Hu wasn't simply a historical thing which occurred 3,000 years ago. Yet Kadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Mitzrayim and saved us from our enemies who wanted to destroy us. It's something that's happened constantly in each and every generation. So we have to realize that it's not just a past commemoration of what happened and thanks what happened then, but it's also what's happening now. Okay.
I have a comment. In my translation, it translates the word "vehi" as "it is this that," and I have a little arrow pointing to the word "that," and it says the promise to Abraham. That it's it's the promise to Abraham that has stood by us.
I've got a similar translation. I'll just tell you mine. And it is this same promise which has been the support of our ancestors and of us as well.
Right, because that's, go back one paragraph. Ruk shomer havtachaso. Let's review that. It's connected to the previous paragraph.
Baruch Shomer,
Yeah, that's right.
Baruch Shomer havitachaso liYisrael, Baruch Hu. Blessed is the guardian who pledged to Israel. But blessed is he who guards his pledge to Israel. Blessed is he. She hakadosh baruch hu chi shav es haketz, that Hashem calculated the end, la'asos kama she'amar la'avraham, to do the amount that he said to Abraham.
So, and then if you,
as that he said to Abraham.
Right, very good, very good. Come on, as he said.
yeah, now if you connect that, you go straight to there, and it is the same promise.
Exactly, that's right.
Right, right. Bivris bein habitarim, in the covenant of the parts, as it is stated, Vayomer la'Avraham, Yada Teda ki ger yiyeh zaracha be'eretz lo lahem. He said to Avram, know for certainty that a stranger, you will be strangers in a land that is not yours.
Right.
The avadus ve'inu osam, and you will serve and be oppressed by them. Arba me'os shana, 400 years. Begam es hagoy asher ya'avodu, and also the nation that you serve, Dan Anochi, I will judge. V'acharei chen yetzu bir chush gadol. And afterwards, and after this, you will go out with great wealth.
Now, if you connect that with the next paragraph, so we understand the connection. The thing that I'm trying to understand is why don't we stand from the beginning, right? Why is this? There's some kind of a break in between these two paragraphs. That I'm not so clear about why there's a break between these two paragraphs.
Oh. Yeah, it seems like the word vayihi is right after the word gadol.
Right.
Yeah, I see your question.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'll save it for some homework.
Okay. Say,
let's continue on, and I'll try and see if I can find anything substantial on that.
okay, Tse ulamad ma bikesh lavan ha'a rami la'asos liYaakov Avinu. Go and learn what Lavan, the Aramean, requested to do,
Right, because, well, because in this case means that he sought to do.
that he sought to do to Yaakov Avinu. She paro lo gazar ella al ha-zicharim. That Paro only decreed upon the males. Lavan bikesh la'akur es hakol. And Lavan sought la'akur, to uproot
Yes, exactly. Very good.
all. Shene Amar, as it is stated, Arami Oved Avi. An Aramean Oved worked.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Oived Avi. Me, Oived Avi. This is actually a pasuk in the Torah, to tell you the truth. These are psukim. That how does it translate, Roy, in your translation?
Therefore inquire what Laban the Aramee intended to do
Right.
to our father Yaakov. I'll go further. Or,
Yeah, a bit further than that, right?
while Paro decreed the destruction of the males only, Laban sought to root out the whole. As it is said, an Aramee had nearly caused my father to perish. He went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a few persons, and they became a great and mighty and populous nation.
Okay, so let's see where these words here says, well, the Lovin Bikesh La'akar Esakos, and them are Arami Ovid Avi. I guess Arami Ovid Avi, meaning with referring to Avi is referring to Yaakov Avinu, and Oive Arami. So I guess we're saying that Yaakov Avinu was served Lovin, I guess, no?
Right, that would make sense. But that doesn't match the English, which says an Aramean attempted to destroy my father. It seemed to be treating the word Oved as to destroy.
Could be Ovid from Ovid is sometimes to be lost or to destroy. But this is, I guess that Ovid is maybe Mary, this is the future tense. This is Ovid is a future tense to destroy you,
That's a good question. I mean, Oved normally would be the present tense.
Mhm. Right. In this case, he only intended to do it. He wasn't successful.
Right.
But that doesn't match the grammar, I don't think, because it doesn't say anything about trying to do it. It seems to say that he is destroying my father.
Well, then it's definitely present tense if you translate it like that.
Right. Or even if you say future will destroy my father, but it's not attempted. I don't see the word attempted in here at all.
I've got nearly caused.
Nearly caused.
Nearly caused my father to perish.
Let's see. Do I have a dictionary?
And mine was an archaic translation, the whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Armory Oived Aviv.
Just,
Loving or Rami. Interesting. Oived. Oived. Come King Kasser. I mean Oived V. I'll tell you, you know what? If I'm not mistaken, you have a Chumash Devarim. It's a pasuk in Devarim.
oh, that's a good point. Good point. Let's see.
What pasuk?
Yes, 26:8 it looks like.
26.
Or
See if
it
that's
might be
true.
Could be, might be pasuk Hay, the fifth pasuk.
Oh, that's a hay, not a chet. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it looks like a hay.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, my English says an Aramean would have destroyed my father.
Ah, so it's future tense, right? Would have.
Is this backwards?
And that's a reference to Lavan.
How do you know it's a reference to Lavan?
Well, first of all, Lavan's is Arami. He's also from Padan Aram. He's from Padan Aram, and that's what he wanted to do. That was the connection. Bikesh La'akres Hakol. And he intended.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Rory. It's okay. Go
No,
ahead.
no, so the first sentence says, Laban is the Arami, and our father, Yaakov.
Right.
It's defined who the Arami is and who the father is.
Yeah. In fact, we're also considered Amariams, if you don't remember, right? That's what Avraminu was very happy to send Eliezer to Padan Aram, right? We were, that was our original homeland in Amram.
No, it's ironic that although it the vocalization is present tense, if you just look at the three letters, that would be past tense. And in my translation, it says an Aramean tried to destroy my forefather.
Right, exactly.
That's interesting. Why the dikduk is different than the or the vocalization is different than the dikduk, I guess.
Yeah, I actually see in some of my informs, they actually write it out. There should be some spell it Aleph Vav Beis Daled with a Vav in it.
Wow. So that's definitely present tense.
Yeah, Oived.
But then the next section of the sentence says Vayered Mitzrayma. That's past tense.
Oh,
And they went to Egypt.
Right. So that there is discussion about that because this is, I mean, that's part of the pasuk as well. I think that's also part of the pasuk, correct?
Yes, it is.
I mean, so the pasuk's making a jump from the time of Yaakov Avinu, right? Yaakov Avinu, when he left Laban's house, that's when Laban sought to to destroy everything. That you should realize that was even including his own daughters. He was even willing to destroy his own daughters. And Yaakov Avinu didn't go down to Mitzrayim. We remember how old Yaakov Avinu when he went down to Mitzrayim. Remember Paro asked Yaakov, "How old you are?"
Was he at 130?
I think so. Do we have if we Parshas, the end of Parshas Vigash, I think should say. Let me see if I can get the Chumash. Let's see the hummus. Gosh. Okay. So when says here that yeah, in toward the end of Parshas V'yigash, Yom Paro El Yaakov, V'ma Yemei Shnei Chayecha, Paro said to Yaakov, how many of the days of your life, the days of the years of your life? Yom Yaakov Paro Yemei Shnei Magor Shloshim U'Mei Shana Ma'at V'royim Hayumei Chayai 130, right? So that was when Yaakov Avinu was 130, right? And how old was Yaakov Avinu when he left Lavan? He was, I think, in his 70s. I can double check exactly. I believe he was in his 70s. So it's close to almost 50 years between these two statements, from the time that Lavan was Bikesh, the Okres Kol, and that was Yared B'Mitzrayim, and Yaakov Avinu was Yared B'Mitzrayim. Okay.
Right.
So there's a lot of discussion what the connection in the pasuk is between the two things. But just to mention right now that, as I said, Lavan was so intent in his hatred for Yaakov that he was even willing to destroy and kill his own daughters, right? And you see this parallels what Pharaoh did also. Pharaoh also in his decrees also at one point decreed that even the Egyptian boys that were being born at that stage would also be thrown into the river. He was so intent upon destroying Klal Yisrael that he was even willing to sacrifice his own population for it. That you see these two instances. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, we have 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to stop and then yeah, we'll resume after a break. When it stops, we'll take a break and then we'll continue on.
Okay, if it's okay with you, why don't I host the next session?
Sure, that's good. That's fine.
All right, so we'll because we have to exit anyway.
Right.
All right, so everybody should go to my link. Same link as always. Vayered Mitzrayma, Vayagar Sham Bimisei Me'at, Vayihi Sham Legoy Gadol Atzum Virav. Okay, so and he descended to Egypt and dwelled there. Bimate, I have a numerous people. Bimate, and dwelled there with few people. with
Yeah.
few people.
Right, from the word
Ma'at.
ma'at.
Right. So
right.
the mate is I guess people.
No, mate is like, was few, they were few, meaning they only went only 70 went down, that was the whole family. The whole family of Yaakov Avinu was only 70 people, that was the males, basically.
But mate is the number, a small number, a number ma'at, a small number.
Right, that's right.
Vayihi and he was there for a nation, great, mighty, and numerous.
Right, so even though we started off very few, we became great and mighty and numerous.
Vayered meets Rima. He descended to Egypt. Anus al pi hadibur. Compelled, according to the word, a decree, a divine decree, the mouth of the word, a divine decree.
Right, the Yaakov Avinu, even though Yosef was there in Mitzrayim, he would have really preferred not to go to Mitzrayim. But the Kadosh Baruch Hu told him that was a Parshas, if I'm not mistaken, Vigash as well. Kadosh Baruch Hu came to Yaakov Avinu and told him to go down and not to be fearful of going to Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim was a very, very terrible place. It was the on one hand, it was the height of civilization and technology, and on the other hand, it was completely morally corrupt. So it was a very dangerous place to go into, even for a short time.
How does it get to be at the height of technology with all of that corruption? You'd think it would be a third world country. You'd think it would be backward and underdeveloped because there's all that corruption, all that sin, which prevents people from accomplishing things, even in terms of secular things. No.
I understand your question. The answer is based on Chavos Halavavos. He says that any advance, he says, it's an amazing statement. Any advanced technology really is a result of a lack of true intellect and causes a corruption of true intellect. So what happens is the technology usually will allow people to have make things easier for people, right? That the technology is developed in a way to make life easier. But what happens is, with life becoming easier, people have more free time, they have more leisure time, and if people are not led in the way of Torah, they don't know how to use their leisure time properly. We all know that the most dangerous time and the highest criminal rates and traffic accidents and is when there are holidays. The holidays are the worst time for crime, for traffic accidents, for arguments, all kinds of things, because people don't know how to use their free time properly. That's one of the reasons given why a non-Jew, if he keeps Shabbos, is chayav misa, because he doesn't know what to do with Shabbos. Right? It's good for people to be occupied. Right? If they're not going to be properly instructed in how to use their free time in a constructive way, they're only going to cause their own demise, and they'll use it for improper purposes and improper activities. So therefore, technology, which gives people more free time, makes their lives, so to speak, more comfortable, unless it's coupled with an attitude and a philosophy of how to use your free time practically and purposefully, it's only going to cause them to have corruption and degradation. So that's what happens. So even though Egypt was at the apex of technology, but since they didn't have the balancing effect of Torah to compensate for that extra free time, they just used their free time in corrupt and immoral practices, which led them to be the capital and the summit of immoral practices. And that happens constantly with Rome, right? Rome was destroyed not because of lack of power. It was destroyed because of the moral corruption which existed within the state, and because they reached the apex of supremacy over the rest of the world. The world was sending them tribute, and they didn't have the compensation of what to do with their time properly. So they just naturally, the Yetzer Hara, non-Jews have Yetzer Hara also, and the Yetzer Hara takes hold of them and leads them in the wrong paths. But I understand the question you're asking. So, and that's the danger, right? That's the danger. Countries, nations, civilizations, cultures reach a certain status quo of plenty and satisfaction, and they don't have the compensating Torah to guide them in what to do with their time that they've been given. That was the Dura Mabul. The Dura Mabul. The flood came because people were free. If you look at the Rashi there at the end of Parshas Noah, you see Rashi explains why was Noah called Noah. It was called Noah. I only have less than a minute, so I'm going to probably get cut off in the middle of this. We continue another time with this.